This is Farm Talk on Full Stroke Media. From the fields, farms, and rural communities that keep America moving. Hosted by Amy, one of the founders of the Veterans and Young Farmers Alliance. Protecting American farming, family farms, and the good Lord's lands for future generations to come. Powered by Full Stroke Media.
Welcome back to Farm Talk. I'm Amy with the Veterans and Young Farmers Alliance. In part one, we asked a difficult question: who owns America's farmland? We talked about land ownership, agricultural concentration, beginning farmers, leasing, farm succession, and the growing challenge of getting that first piece of land. But now I want to take this conversation one step further, because here's where I believe America needs to start thinking differently. We need to stop treating farmland simply as real estate. Because farmland isn't just real estate, it is a productive infrastructure. It produces food. It supports rural economies. It supports communities. It supports agricultural businesses, and it supports families. It can also support wildlife and ecosystems. And once productive farmland is converted to another use, we may never get it back. That's why farmland preservation matters. But farmland preservation alone isn't enough. We can preserve every acre we can and still have a problem if the next generation can't afford access to those acres. We need to think about both sides: preserving farmland and creating pathways for farmers to be able to access it. Those are connected problems. Now I want to talk about something else that sometimes gets lost in this conversation. Leasing isn't necessarily bad. There are many successful farmers who lease land. Leasing can be an important tool for beginning farmers. It can allow someone to get started without taking on enormous debt. It can allow farmers to expand. It can allow landowners to keep their land in agriculture. So I'm not saying leasing is the enemy. But I do think we need to recognize the difference between having access to land and having ownership of land. Those are not the same thing. And if the goal is to create long-term agricultural opportunity, we need pathways towards both, because ownership can give farmers something incredibly important: equity. Every year you make a payment toward land you own, you potentially build an asset that can support your farm, an asset that can help you secure financing, an asset that can potentially be passed to your children, an asset that can give your family greater stability. And that is something a beginning farmer desperately needs. But here's the catch: getting to that first piece of land is often the hardest part. And that's where VYFA wants to focus, not on telling people that land should simply be given away, not on telling landowners what they should do with their property, but on building better pathways between people who have agricultural land and people who want to build agricultural futures. That could mean better beginning farmer financing. It could mean land link programs. It could mean succession planning, mentorship. It could mean cooperative ownership models. It could mean agricultural trusts, partnerships, creative financing. It could mean helping veterans and young farmers understand the programs that already exist. And it could mean developing entirely new approaches. Because we can't keep telling young people we need you in agriculture and then leave them standing outside the gate. We have to give them a way in. And that brings us back to the question we started with: who owns America's farmland? The answer isn't one simple group. Farmers own it, families own it, retirees own it, businesses own it, investors own it, different organizations own it, and sometimes communities and trusts own it. The bigger question isn't simply who owns the land today. The bigger question is, who will own it tomorrow? And who will have the opportunity to buy it? Who will have the opportunity to inherit it, to lease it, or to build a farm on it? And who will be shut out because the price of entry became too high? Those are questions worth asking, and they're questions that don't belong to one political party. They don't belong to one industry. They belong to all of us because farmland isn't just an asset. It's part of our national infrastructure. It's part of our food system. It's part of our rural communities. And for millions of Americans, it's part of their heritage. But heritage isn't enough. We have to build a future. That's why VYFA believes the conversation about farmland needs to include the people who are trying to enter agriculture, not just the people who are already established, who have access to capital, not the people who have thousands of acres, but the person looking for their first 40 acres, the veteran looking for their first farm, the young family looking for a place to build, the beginning farmer trying to turn experience into ownership, and the family farmer trying to figure out how to pass the farm on to the next generation. They all belong in this conversation because the future of American agriculture isn't going to be decided by one person. It's going to be decided by what we do with the land we have today and what opportunities we create for the people who will farm it tomorrow. So I'll leave you with this question. If the next generation wants to farm but can't afford the land, who are we building American agriculture for? That is something I think all of us need to think about. I'm Amy with the Veteran and Young Farmers Alliance. We're going to keep asking the difficult questions. We're going to keep looking for practical solutions. And we're going to keep working toward a future where wanting to become a farmer isn't just a dream. It's a realistic possibility because America doesn't just need people willing to work the land. America needs people who have the opportunity to own it, to steward it, and to pass it forward. This is Farm Talk. I'm Amy, and we'll see you the next time.
That keep America moving. Hosted by Amy, one of the founders of the Veterans and Young Farmers Alliance. Protecting American farming, family farms, and the good Lord's lands for future generations to come. Powered by Full Stroke Media.